Mary Cooper's story in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage has taken a surprising turn, and fans are divided over her new relationship. For years, we've known Mary as the devoted wife, the strict mother, and the moral compass of the Cooper family. Her identity was tied to her husband, George Sr., and to keeping her family together, even when everything around her was falling apart. But now, in this new phase of her life, Mary is starting to rediscover who she is outside of being a wife and a mother, and that's exactly what makes her new relationship so interesting and complicated. Ever since George Sr.'s death, Mary has been living in the shadow of grief. In young Sheldon, we saw how deeply his passing affected her and how she leaned heavily on her faith to get through it. But faith alone doesn't always fill the void of companionship. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage picks up years later, and it's clear that Mary is finally ready to open herself up to something new, a chance to feel cared for, appreciated, and even loved again. The question is, can she really move forward when the past still feels so present? Mary's new relationship represents a huge emotional shift for her. For so long, she's been defined by sacrifice. She sacrificed her own dreams for her kids, her happiness for her marriage, and her freedom for the stability of her family. Now, for the first time, she's doing something for herself. That's both empowering and unsettling. You can sense that she feels guilty about it, especially knowing how Georgie and Missy might react. From a storytelling perspective, this is a side of Mary we've never truly seen before, a woman trying to balance her devotion to her late husband with her desire to find happiness again. Of course, Georgie's reaction adds another layer of tension. His frustration and discomfort aren't just about his mom dating, it's about what it represents. To him, George Sr. isn't just gone, he's a symbol of what family meant. Seeing Mary move on feels like she's rewriting that memory. Georgie's grief has always been complicated. He admired his dad but also resented how much responsibility fell on his shoulders after he died. Watching his mom find love again brings up feelings he hasn't really dealt with. He's protective of her, but he's also struggling to understand how love can exist after loss. From Mary's point of view, though, this relationship isn't about replacing George Sr., it's about rediscovering herself after years of living for everyone else. You can tell she's cautious, even hesitant. She knows people will judge her, her family, her church community, maybe even the audience watching, but she's learning to care less about what others think and more about what she feels. It's a subtle but powerful evolution for her character. What makes this storyline so strong is that it doesn't romanticize moving on. The writers show the awkwardness, the hesitation, and the emotional conflict that comes with it. Mary's still haunted by memories of her husband, still attached to the version of herself that existed when he was alive. But grief doesn't end with a timeline, it just changes shape. And now, it's shaping her into someone who wants to live again, even if that means facing the uncomfortable reactions of her family. There's also a deeper commentary here about how widows, especially older women, are often judged when they try to rebuild their personal lives. For years, Mary's role was to care for everyone else. But the moment she decides to care for herself, people see it as selfish or disrespectful. The show challenges that idea by allowing her to explore love in a new light. She's not betraying George's memory, she's honoring his by choosing to keep living. What's really touching is how this new relationship gives Mary a second chance at emotional intimacy. With George, life was complicated. They loved each other, but they had their struggles. This new connection might not be as grand or passionate, but it's steady, it's kind, and it's exactly what she needs. It's also refreshing to see the show handle an older woman's romantic storyline with such sensitivity and realism. There's no over-the-top drama, just a genuine portrayal of a woman learning to let herself be loved again. Of course, this doesn't mean everything will go smoothly. Georgie will need time to come around, and Missy might have her own opinions. But over time, they'll likely see that their mother deserves happiness too. Mary's always been the emotional glue of the Cooper family, and this new chapter could help her redefine what family means now that everyone's grown and changed. In the end, Mary's new relationship isn't about forgetting her past, it's about healing from it. It shows that love after loss is possible, even if it's complicated, and that grief doesn't have to define someone forever. For Mary Cooper, this isn't the end of her story. It's the beginning of a new one. One where she's not just someone's wife or mother, but a woman finally choosing herself. And that's what makes this storyline so real, so heartfelt, and so important to the world of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. For more videos, don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe to my channel.